Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Alright, I'm throwing some scratch out. I actually was trying to start recording before I threw any out and my phone rang. Buddy needs some help with some electrical issues. So we're going to try to meet over there tomorrow and see if I can figure out what's going on. But anyway, I don't think I threw the large pin enough scratch. So I'm going to throw a little bit more. All right. Medium pin here, want some more too. All right. That ought to satisfy him for a little while. Been a long day at work today, y'all. Most of the time I enjoy everything I do up there, but it's been a long day at work today. So yeah, they got plenty. There's only 6 hens and Sue over here. So there is plenty on the ground. They will finish it off though. Had a really slow egg day yesterday. I only got, I think I took 9 inside. One of the black sex links here, which is only one in here. That's her right there in the middle. She was on the nesting box in there right at dark. I mean, normally they're on the roost about that time. So I left. I didn't even check up on her. I didn't want to run her off the nest. Junior just went after that young one, I'm pretty sure is a rooster, and that's kind of normal. Let him know he's still the boss. But anyway, I left her on there. I didn't want to check up on her and run her off the nest if she was going to try to sit. So I checked back 30 minutes after dark, and she had gotten up and was up on the roost. So she wasn't trying to sit. She was just laying late. But ended up with 2 eggs in that nesting box, and I just left them out there last night. So between the 9 I got and those, I've got 11. That's the least amount of eggs in one day I've gotten in a very long time. So anyway, I have not looked today. I know there's at least 5 in the middle because I can see that with the cameras. And there's only 5 adult hens here, plus the teenagers, which will be those 3 and that gray one right there and this one. So 5 teenagers and I don't know, however many adults, 5, 6. But that gray one looks like she's an adult now, but she's one of the teenagers, thank goodness. The only adult gray one I have is in the first pen down there with Sue, and that's the one that had the injured foot, that I treated, and she's almost walking normal now. She's walking on it without hardly a limp at all, so it's getting a lot better. So that's good news, and she's back to laying. I got an egg from her yesterday because she lays my bluish colored egg. So anyway, all right, I went and checked the garden before I came over to start the video. Let me get over there. All right, y'all know I was wanting to pull the watermelon vines up and get this garden tilled a little bit by hand with my shovel and stuff, and get all my tomato cages and grow bags and stuff dumped out and put up. But I kept finding watermelons, and I keep finding watermelons. Well, I've got 5. This one is the oldest, and I keep waiting on it to get me, the sun burnt yellow spot, and it's not quite there. It's just now starting. But the one inside has got a pretty good yellowish bottom to it. So it's getting very close. So maybe by the time that stem turns dark, it'll be ready to pick. The other, this one over there, and one over there, they're not even ready close yet. So I don't know, I'm gonna let them do what they do. And I mean, I still see a baby watermelon right there that's about the size of a dime. So I'm not wanting more to grow. I see a little bitty one in there. I'll tell you what, the watermelon's loving that raised bed. It's growing out of it, but it's doing very well as far as producing. It's just, I didn't expect it to do that long. So anytime I see a weed growing in my grow bags, I pull them out, throw them out in the yard. See, I got, I don't know what you call this, but I pull them and throw them out in the yard. That way I won't have any seed bed or weed seed bed in there to cause more weeds to grow. I see another one down there actually. Hard to see with this. So much bark was mixed in with this so-called garden soil that I bought. Way too much bark in it, but it'll be good for next year. Have not weeded the middle one there because I got a lot more to put in there. But I have been pulling out of this one. I got that basil that decided to grow on its own right there. I'm going to leave it alone. Let it do what it does. But anywho, long day at work. Really didn't want to be there after lunch. But just like most people that work for a living, didn't have much of a choice. So I got up most of this plastic. I filled my hobo dumpster up again, and they dumped it yesterday. So I've got, it's empty. So now I can get up the rest of this plastic and get it thrown in the dumpster. It's a little bit over in this corner too. So I've got probably about 85% of it up. I got a little bit here, but I get the rest of that up, and then I rake the big clumps of grass and stuff and drag it out in the yard and mulch it with the mower. And then I can finish moving the boards and such and get in there with the mower and cut and let that thing grow over with grass and just leave it alone. But anyway, all right, I was hoping that little black sex link right there would start setting. See, I got a Rhode Island Red in the nesting box right now, and she wasn't there a little while ago. But look, she's got inside and got on those eggs, and she's either going to lay another egg or she's acting like she wants to set, and none of them are. So I've got straw in those nesting boxes. So I was hoping they would start to set. All the nesting boxes have straw in them. I'd probably put a little bit more in some of them. And look at the amount of leaves. I'm trying to get the sun out of my eyes. Look at the amount of leaves that have fallen. So I'm going to have to go in there when I cut grass, either this week sometime or this weekend when I've got time to cut all the grass and mulch all those leaves up. Excuse me. And in here too, you see how many have fallen? It blows toward the edges of the fence. This oak tree still got millions on it, but they are turning brown and they're falling out of the trees. And every year this thing fills up with leaves, and I have to mulch them up with the mower 3 or 4 times to, you know, keep it from being too thick in there and not letting grass grow as if it would. But either way, still got a lot of stuff to do. I didn't get, you know, which y'all know, last weekend I didn't get a whole lot done outside. Had my middle daughter and husband and kids come over, Saturday after lunch, and we had the serve day that morning at church, well, from 10 to 12. So kind of took up most of my day, and I'm thrilled with it. That's all. When you get old, you know, that's all you really ask for is time with your kids and grandkids. So anyway, I enjoyed it very much. I've still got, and I'm glad things are starting to die back a little bit as fall moves in and winter's coming, so I can get in there and pick up all them pear tree limbs and stuff I cut and get them dragged to the back. I might get my grandson to help me with that if they let him come this weekend. But we're not forecasted for any significant amount of rain. So in a couple of 3 or 4 days, I think we've got like a 25 or 35% chance. We had a 25% yesterday, and I looked at the weather app, and it said rain starting in like 100 minutes, less than 2 hours. So I was looking forward to that, and it never rained at all. I want to walk over here and look, see where the camper was sitting. Ooh, the bees are active. Let me get over there closer. Maybe they won't tear my butt up. I'm going to zoom in though, so I don't have to get as close enough to be a threat. But they are really coming in and out of that box. All right, I'm probably 20 feet or so. Can y'all see those bees coming in and out? I like it. He put that extra box on there to give them a place to store more food, and it looks pretty good. Now, here's where the camper was sitting. So it needs cutting when I cut to cut these weeds and stuff down, but I don't see any issues. He picked up all the blocks and the boards and stuff what we had under the jack stands and all that, so cleaned up behind himself. Of course, I gave it to him. I didn't charge him for nothing. So it still had, electric water heater in it, and microwave and TV and DVD player and all kinds of pots and pans. Even had some cast iron in there. But a buddy came out Monday and did some shooting. Him and his wife. His wife has never been here before, but they came out Monday, older couple from church, and did some training, some target practice and all, because we've got qualifications coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. And he wants to make sure, he's shot enough to be good enough to qualify. So anyway, you see the range just covered with leaves also. So normally within a week of having range time out here, I'll bring the mower down and mulch up all the leaves I can and blow most of them off the range so we can see and not worry about stepping on something we don't want to step on. So anywho, got to get ready for that. And I'm going to show y'all one more thing. Let me walk back up to the barn. All right, I was at Lowe's a couple months ago and decided I was going to pick up some of these 1x2s that they sell. And this is really a 3/4 by 1.5 inches, but I got a couple of bundles of those just to get me started whenever I do get time and figure out what kind of screw I'm going to use. But I want to strip the old carport frame here with the 1x2s and sand the edges down so I don't have anything that's going to snag the plastic and tear it, and get this thing covered with some greenhouse plastic, and then I can start framing in the walls on each end with the doors and the exhaust fan and all that stuff. So a lot to do. I probably won't get all those projects done this year, but that's the plan anyway. So when I'm in somewhere like Lowe's and I go, ooh, I could try that, use some of that, because you got to have a pretty good sized table saw, guys, to split 2x4s, you know, especially if you're going to split a lot of them. And yeah, I'd love to be able to split a 2x4 and use a you know, 2x2 to frame out that carport enclosure into a greenhouse, but that's just not feasible. First of all, my table saw is old and it's not near big enough to rip 2x4s continuously. I can, it takes a while. Have to go slow with it. So little stuff at the time. So anyway, I'm doing what I can when I can. But guys, I appreciate y'all watching my videos. I just wanted to do a quick update and show y'all. I was going to collect the eggs, but it's just too early. They're going to keep laying. There'll be another 1, 2, or 3 eggs laid today. And I see there's a Rhode Island Red in the nesting box over here. That box has only been having 2 to 4 eggs in it, and most of the eggs are laid in the other boxes. So they're not done, so there's no need of me going out there to collect the eggs. But you know, these teenagers that I let my hens hatch, they sure are pretty. I'm wondering if that one with feathers on the feet is going to turn out to be a rooster. I hope not, but that may turn out to be a rooster. We'll just have to see. It's one of the younger of the teenagers. So we'll just have to see. Thank y'all for watching. Remember what I always tell you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.